Hey everybody, this is Julius of the Goat Movement Podcast. I'm here to reintroduce a series of videos, a weekly series of videos that were on our old channel. These are the What If discussions, where we discuss different points in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and drastically change them, seeing how the universe as a whole would be affected. These videos started back in 2019 in anticipation for the What If series now on Disney+. I'm joined by a variety of different guests where we talk about these different instances and scenarios. We're going to release them weekly like we did beforehand, and we hope you enjoy them. Obviously, a lot of these discussions became episodes, so it's going to be fun to compare and contrast then to what we have now. Enjoy the content, the conversation. Have a good one, stay safe, and goodbye. What's happening, everybody? My name is Julius.
And I'm Malcolm Jones.
Malcolm, do you know what the question of the day is?
No, why don't you tell me?
Well, okay. It is, I'm going to ask you a hypothetical. It has to do with Marvel, science fiction, your favorite characters, group of characters in the MCU.
All right.
What if Peter Quill was never taken from Earth back in the 80s?
So basically not taken by Yondu.
Not taken by Yondu.
Right.
Yes.
Well, he would have lived a pretty sad life, but I'm assuming Ego still would have had him picked up by somebody else. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much longer it would take, but I'm assuming he would send someone else after him. But I see his life just, he would be the most introverted person. Mm-hmm. I mean, he would just be introverted.
Right.
I don't know. We wouldn't have this charismatic character we have now if he went through that experience. Because basically the shock value of him being abducted as a kid and only hanging on to his love of his mother through his music really created who he was. Yeah. And I don't know if he still would have been the same kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that he went through a very real and tragic loss. Yeah. And then literally moments after, he was propelled into this kind of this fantasy world, this fantasy galaxy even, to help him kind of cope with it. It's kind of like how when someone goes through a massive traumatic event, something in their mind is going to kickstart this kind of scenario where they can process it better. It's very much in line with actual 80s films back in the day, where there would be a major dramatic event and then a fantasy plot comes from that event. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the brilliant things about Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film, because we're talking about the first film right now and what if would happen.
Absolutely.
This is definitely something that would, I think, affect the MCU as a whole in a very big way, an unexpected way. Mm-hmm. It's funny that you say that he probably wouldn't have been the suave. I don't think he'd be suave. I think that he would probably deal with a lot of traumatic elements with humor, maybe. I think what we would get if he had never left Earth, if he was never picked up, I think we would get like the Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec in the MCU, where he's like, I don't know, he's overweight.
Yeah, no, I from that perspective, yeah, but I feel like he'd be a little bit darker and more sarcastic. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I more see. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever seen Total Drama Island?
Yeah.
Like Gwen.
Oh, okay.
I see that as a guy, of course.
Like way more cynical.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a really terrible thought.
It's a terrible thought, but
for Star-Lord.
I can see it, though.
Yeah.
He'd be Dark Star-Lord. See, now it would actually work.
Yeah, you could actually be him. He just grows up around all these different... It'd be a really interesting way, because you're right, Ego would come for him.
Yeah, there was no way he wouldn't. I don't see a scenario where that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's a really... it's just such a bizarre what if... Because they're doing that what if show.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to actually tackle something like this if Peter never left and was never picked up by Yondu?
Normally I would, but the Guardians is such... I wouldn't say it's a sensitive subject,
right?
But just due to all the James Gunn things that have been happening, I think that's the last thing they want to fuck with,
right?
Personally,
right.
I mean, that's the only reason why, though. I think normally they would, and they're definitely going to tackle a lot of what if scenarios that we'd be definitely interested in, would rock and change the shape of the MCU as we know it now, for sure.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that I was seeing a picture of Marvel Zombies.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, that would be incredible.
What if?
That'd be an amazing what if.
That is what if. They're probably going to bring that in that Doctor Strange film.
Yeah.
Because it's a horror film.
Which we're both also very excited for. Can't even
No, I can't wait. Now, I want to, since you're a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, specifically Star-Lord and his character, I wanted to ask you what you thought about this in this what-if scenario. Later, he becomes more of a cynical person, sarcastic and everything. He's not as connected with music, probably, because it reminds him too much of his mom, because he's stuck on Earth.
Yeah.
Being away from space for Quill really did change his character. So what if, when he does meet up with Ego, and Ego does come for him when he's on Earth, do you think he'd be more susceptible to Ego's lure of like, hey, we're going to take over everything? And, Quill, he's just like, I have nothing here. I have no connection. I have no family. There are no Guardians at this point, Do you think he'd be more susceptible to Ego's offer? So
you're basically saying that, so if Ego actually came to Earth and got Quill.
If he got connected with him,
right.
if because we know what happens in Guardians Volume 2, where Ego does get in contact with Quill.
Right. And a lot of the reason he doesn't, because he really actually does have a family.
Yes.
But in this scenario, he technically doesn't.
He doesn't. There are no Guardians at this point.
But we also don't know, does he have a friend at school maybe? He might not. But there's a lot of what if scenarios in that. But if basically, let's say he didn't really connect, with his family that was there.
Yeah, his
maybe
grandfather.
He got fostered. There's a lot of things that could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
He would probably be much more susceptible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being an issue.
Yeah.
Which would very drastically change the MCU.
Yeah.
But also, if Ego were to come to Earth, I'd like to think that wouldn't be just the like, oh yeah, I'm just coming to Earth, just taking my son, I'm out. I feel like there'd be more of an issue where S.H.I.E.L.D. would possibly be like, that's...
Who is this guy?
Who's that? Why is his energy signals off the charts?
What's this plant behind the Dairy Queen?
Exactly. There'd be a lot of questions, so I don't think it'd be as simple as he comes, he takes, whatever.
No, yeah.
But if that was the case, then he would probably get his wish.
Yeah. That'd be crazy, because at that point, they're both Celestials teamed up, conquering the galaxy. And this affects way more than just, the Guardians thing. Like, we saw in Volume 2, those flowers were sprouting up and taking over, not even taking over, decimating towns, civilizations,
multiple Earths, multiple worlds. Yeah, and it was insane.
Probably get the Avengers fighting these two. Imagine that shit.
It wouldn't go very well.
No.
Two of them?
Yeah.
One's enough. And they were on the plane. They were on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Two, knowing everything would be terrifying.
It would be terrifying. Like, this is an Avengers threat.
Yeah. An Avengers level threat, absolutely.
Oh my god, that's crazy to think about. Because one of my favorite things about Star-Lord's character is that he is basically the underdog of the MCU.
Absolutely.
People don't expect much from this guy. They look at him as like, oh, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's one of the funniest reasons why we love him and Thor's reactions to each other.
Absolutely.
Just like, we know who's in charge, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Me,
right?
Yeah, of course. But it's me, right?
Yeah. But that's the great thing about his character. Yeah. And now we're going like completely opposite, where he does become this darker, a villain,
Yeah.
It's so easy for this dude to just turn like that. And I think that really does speak well to the writing of his character. Now, what about his character, in either of the films, really does speak to you? Because I know you love Star-Lord.
Yeah, no, I really like his character because you're right, he's an underdog. He gets a lot of his release through music, which I do as well.
Yeah.
And the dude got stabbed with a fork like me, so that helps. But no, it's just, I like his style. I get that he's been hurt to the point where he has to package that and put that away to focus on, the continuing issues that are there in front of him.
Right.
Which I understand personally and emotionally and empathetically.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of characters like that. There's a lot of characters who are like, I'm going to do the right thing because it's the right thing.
Right.
And, like Captain America is a great example of that. But he also knows when to put stuff away and when to bring things out. A great example is the unfortunate events of Civil War. As much as I don't agree with his thought process to why he chose to give some information and leave out others.
Yeah.
I understood why he did it.
Right.
And Star-Lord would not have been able to do that if you look at Infinity War.
Yeah.
He was so upset and distraught, he just screwed up the whole plan.
Yeah.
But I understood why. That was one of the really great things that people were putting into memes. Like, oh, he ruined the whole thing. But then there was another one that was like, yeah, he lost this person, this person,
yeah.
this person, this person.
Yeah.
And yeah, he broke because, of course.
I mean, he's human. You know, he is half celestial, but he is
And that part
human.
died.
Yeah, it really did.
Which is a huge thing to lose and gain in
Absolutely.
one movie.
Yeah.
You basically are told...
3 films right there. That's a whole relationship, like, gone at that point. I mean, you got to think about the last time in Infinity War that he saw Gamora.
Yeah.
He was about to kill that chick, you know, to save everyone. He was ready to do it.
Yeah.
But you know, that's so weird to me that people actually got mad about that.
A lot of people got mad.
Like, are you stupid, bro? Like,
I was glad in the movie that no one got mad.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
like
other people did get mad at other things. But not that. So that was good. That was good. You know, at least people were okay with that for the most part. They got mad later, which...
With what?
That's fine. No, with his decision to snap.
Oh, yeah.
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 Then I was like, you know what? You can get mad after the movie. At least it wasn't during. Cause,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
One thing I wanted to bring up about the this what if scenario, if Quill had never left Earth, I think that this would have definitely affected even just the first film, because you and I were really focusing on Ego.
Yeah.
In the first film, this really does affect a lot in terms of the other members of the Guardians and everything else we saw in that first film. Mm-hmm. Like Xandar, done.
Oh yeah.
Ronan would have gotten that stone and just decimated it. There wouldn't have been any Guardians to do anything. Mm-hmm. He would have gone up. I mean, Ronan would have gone up against Thanos, which probably wouldn't have gone too well for him. But
and then Thanos would have got one of his stones.
Yeah, or like pretty early.
Pretty early. Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Pretty early. Probably Gamora would have stayed with Thanos.
Oh, that's without a doubt.
Yeah,
because she was only trying to go, foil his plans to not get a stone.
Yeah.
If he already had a stone, he's getting the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
It only takes one to really do some damage.
Yeah.
As we even saw in the first Guardians film anyway.
Absolutely. And also, how do you think, like specifically, because we know the lineup of the Guardians in the first film, how do you think it would have affected everyone else's character, like Drax, Rocket, and Groot?
Well, Drax would have never been empathetic, that's for sure. Groot would have probably been the same, because Groot was just, well, I don't mean this to be a pun, but he was very grounded.
Oh God!
I didn't mean it to be that, but that's what happened. But whatever. Rocket Raccoon, I don't know. Again, it's a real empathy thing that they started gaining in Volume 2. They really started caring about each other on a deeper level than they were ever comfortable with in the beginning.
Yeah.
Before they even met each other.
Yeah.
For
everyone.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, even Quill, all of them.
Yondu, the Ravengers. Yeah, I was about to call them the Reavers. Everyone really did turn into a better person because of Quill.
And they became a family.
Yeah.
A dysfunctional, crazy family.
And I love it.
And that's why we love it. With the dancing Groot later on.
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of in line with the whole Brightburn film.
Yeah.
Where that's kind of what this version of Quill is,
Yeah.
He's darker. He's a demigod. He was lost so much. He's unsure of his purpose. And funny enough, James Gunn is connected to both scenarios, you know? Did you see Brightburn?
I didn't get a chance to. I saw some of the trailers, though.
Oh, my God. I think you're going to love it.
Yeah, I think I will, too.
Oh, God. Did you see Super?
Yes, I did see Super.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Did you like Super?
Yeah, I like Super, yeah.
And you're going to love Brightburn. Yeah. When it comes to the relationships, as we said, Quill really did make everyone a better person. Yeah. He introduced love to a lot of these people. He reintroduced it because Drax and his family.
Yeah, so I was going to say that was the big thing with Drax, especially seeing him in Volume 2, starting to kind of have feelings for Mantis.
Yeah.
Whether that was friendship or not, that's not what we're getting into. But he would have never, in any of our dreams, that would have happened.
Yeah.
Until he met Quill and everybody.
Yeah. I think that This is even though it is one of the most interesting, oddly enough, because we've been doing all these what ifs and everything videos and talking about what could have happened. This is one of the most interesting ideas, but it is one of the saddest also. Quill losing all humanity. Well,
it's like Superman without his hope. So basically, the DC cinematic universe, but no, it's like that. Yeah, it's like that.
Do it.
I could not. I was working on a song how S doesn't stand for hope, but it's just
Jesus, man.
That was a while back. I was sad. I was sad about what they were doing to my favorite thing.
Well, here let me list. Just get off that. Let me list off some of the places that Quill and his dad Ego probably would have hit up.
Yeah.
So we got the Avengers on Earth.
Yeah.
We got the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
Asgard.
Yeah.
And eventually Thanos. Imagine that. Who wins that?
Depends on if he has the
stones?
First of all, the gauntlet and the stones. But that was the funny thing about watching Endgame, which no one's gonna bring up. I know some people have.
What? Oh God, this isn't gonna be good.
Thanos with the gauntlet, percentage of success like 30%.
What?
Percentage with the sword, 70%.
That's right. Well, I'm actually gonna bring that up.
That was actually one of the. He did so much damage with that sword.
With the sword, yeah.
He even took out the shield, man. Like it was nothing. Makes you question why he just didn't have it from the beginning.
What, the sword?
I get the gauntlet was great and all, but that sword was insane.
Well, wait. When it comes to the percentages, what are they basing it off?
Just the amount of immediate damage in a quick amount of time.
Well,
think of it from. So he did devastating damage with the gauntlet. Obviously,
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
But look at the amount of effort that he had to do. It was nothing.
What? With the yeah.
But with the sword, he still was just like walking around like
Yeah, but like that's like way more effort than a snap.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So he had to put in a little bit more effort, but it seemed more devastating in the moment. Like if you're fighting someone, you're like, "Oh my God, is this it?" But when you have the gauntlet and it's just the snap, you're just like, "That's it."
I don't know.
It's a weird comparison. I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it either.
But it was interesting to see that comparison because you're just like, man, that sword was just.
It's true.
It's more terrifying because it's not an immediate thing. You know what I mean?
I can understand why, at first glance, it's terrifying. Yeah. I mean, it's a double-sided sword from this giant full. Like, there's a shot in an Endgame where he just some sorcerer just comes up there and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you," bam, and then he goes like into Texas.
Yeah,
but. The thing about the gauntlet that is so terrifying is the fact that Thanos, like, he's going out of his way to get everything he needs for it. You know, like the whole movie is him getting all these stones, getting everything he needs to make that snap so devastating, and seeing all the aftermath of that moment. You know, like seeing freaking Groot and Winter Soldier and Spider-Man go. I mean,
no, it was
I don't know. Yeah,
it's not even a comparable figure.
No.
The only reason is I could kind of see it as comparable is when you see the amount of fighting that one took over the other. Like there was a lot of fighting with the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet.
Yeah, and before the snap.
Before even the snap, right? But then you just see this one dude just sitting there. Like not even an issue, and you have Thanos.
Oh,
instead
okay.
of just sitting there in Endgame.
Oh,
just waiting for them to come after him.
It's because he's badass. I mean, he's not. I'm not gonna say badass, but he's dangerous.
No, he is. And you have Thor with a crazy new weapon.
Hell yeah!
And
the crazy old weapon.
Yeah, and the crazy old weapon. And you have Tony Stark with the newest suit. And they're just standing there looking at him like. Are we supposed to go?
You can't deny that was the craziest part of that movie.
Oh, it was.
Where the three of them are just like, look, we don't care who you are or where you're from, what you brought. You're dead.
But you always come back to me.
I'll stay back with you.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, let's do it.
It's a great scene. It's one of the best scenes of the movie.
Look, when Cap comes in And he because he doesn't have a hammer at that.
No,
point.
Not yet.
He's just got the shield, and he's surrounded by these two dudes with unimaginably powerful weapons. Iron Man's got the suit that can do anything.
Basically,
Thor's got the two hammers at this point.
Yeah.
And Cap's just there with the shield, but in that moment, because the hype is so big, that he's gonna do just as much damage as both these guys. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Like. I can't deal with it. That moment was ridiculous. Like, I love the way Cap's just looking at him. Like, yeah. Like, okay, Thanos. Like, the last time I met you, I was testing you out. Like, I know you and I got into it about who was, like, the bigger threat to Thanos, Iron Man or Cap. You were Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
You're like, but after Endgame, what are your thoughts about that now? Who is the bigger threat to him?
Well, that's the problem. According from the fight, that's the problem. It's really a mentality thing,
right?
Because Thanos is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
With a ridiculous weapon that actually shredded the damn shield.
And that was the 2014 Thanos.
Yeah.
That
was the old younger Thanos.
Who was like completely convicted. He was like, he hadn't sacrificed anything.
No.
Gamora would still be alive in his time, who he loved a lot.
Yeah.
He's way more savage, because when you compare that Thanos to the one that is in at the very beginning of Endgame,
yeah.
That dude is done. He gave up because he finished his destiny. This one is just still going, so he's way more savage at that point. What were you gonna?
No, well, from a mentality perspective, it's definitely Cap was the stronger willed in that one. And the only reason I say that is it's the scene when he just runs in and Tony and Thor are just like, yeah, we should probably go too.
Yeah, we should probably follow this.
And that's the only reason. It's not really. It's a mind of. It's the strength of the mind, in my opinion, on that one.
And that's why he could lift that freaking hammer.
Yeah, and he's been able to.
Oh yeah. He was just messing with.
Well, that was kind of the beauty of that. Yeah, we were all waiting for that.
It's like even Thor was like, "Oh, I knew that shit. I knew he could do that."
Well, that was the best part about the look he gave when he almost lifted it.
Oh yeah,
because he knew. There's no way he didn't know. It's like, you can't almost lift it. That's not how that works.
That's not how this works at all. Who's like, we're not in a percentages game of worthiness right now. It's either you're worthy or not. And the moment he lifted it a little bit in what's it called, Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
Cap was just like, oh shit.
I can't let them know.
Yeah, he's right there. He'll whoop my ass. All right, well, we got on a tangent, but any last words about this what if involving Peter Quill or the Guardians of the Galaxy in general, Malcolm?
Well, I guess the real closing thing I would have to say is because Peter Quill is half Celestial, any kind of what if change could drastically change the MCU, as we were talking about. And that's insane to think from someone that most people really didn't give a shit about until the Guardians movies even came out. That would have such a mass effect.
Yeah.
And that is also not a joke to Mass Effect. I do apologize for that one as well.
We don't talk about Mass Effect.
But anyway, it's just insane to think that one character, and granted, I really like this character, but most people, either really like him or didn't really care about him a long time ago, and I didn't really know about him either.
Yeah.
Would have this much of an effect on the entire MCU.
Yeah.
And that this what if scenario would have, massive consequences.
Yeah.
To almost everyone involved, not even just the Guardians. So that's, it's insane. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, to the point where Guardians 3 became this whole bonanza of a film where it wasn't even started production.
Yeah, well, that was the only weird thing about the new Thor movie getting announced, because that's technically going to happen before Guardians 3.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what they've been saying. So that's why I feel like there has to be some rewriting done. Unless they knew all this time, which I that's true. That's even more insane. But, I'm interested because of that. So,
well, I think that is the best way to end the first entry into the What If Guardians. And I can't wait to get more into what ifs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them.
There's a lot. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is the show. What we've been doing is the show. You don't even need Disney Plus because you got the GOAT podcast. Okay, everybody. It's been 3 years of the GOAT Podcast, which means we've been working hard for 3 years to give you this type of content. So please subscribe. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. After that, we will get to 30,000. And after that, we will get to, we'll have enough subscribers to get to Ego.
There you go.
And bring some egos to Ego. Everybody, I'm Julius.
And I'm Malcolm Jones.
Peace out. Goodbye. The GOAT Podcast is proof you don't have to look any further for movie news, reviews, trailer reactions, or special discussions. Subscribe, get notified about what's going on, and I promise you'll be entertained by our daily content on YouTube. If you want more, we're on Twitter at GOAT Film Podcast, Instagram The GOAT Podcast, and The GOAT Movie Group on Facebook. Get connected with us, see what's happening, and make sure to love it while you're doing so.